The, the thing that I was getting in drugs was something that I was always missing. So there came a point in my life and I was like, this is the thing that I've always missed in my life, that emotional happiness and that motivation and feeling happy in life. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hussein Kara. I'm currently working at METL and I'm a GPS tracking operator. I would like to share my story, my life story, the journey throughout, how it has been for me. I'm 35 years old and guess what? I'm still learning and still growing and facing challenges, but trying to cope up with the challenges so I can become a better person and try to look for smarter ways of solving problems. As a child, I was very bright, I was a smart kid. I was very much intellectual. At school, I used to excel. Starting from Form 1, I started losing interest in studies, not knowing the reason behind it yet, not knowing what was going on, but I was already a changed person, as in before I was very social, I used to take part in community service, community events, like attend madrasa and go to majlises and take part even in reciting marshiyas and yasin and having friends. But later on it all changed. It changed because I didn't have that motivation anymore inside me. I had given up living, I had given up on life. I started college and as you know, things had already gotten worse and I was already suffering from depression. So the first year I dropped out of college and I started looking for a job to make some money, because at home I was also supposed to support my sister, my family and pay for whatever expenses that were. I was employed in many companies, but I kept losing jobs like that. Just like easily I would lose interest in jobs and I would just quit. So I think depression was getting very much serious in my life. A very bad thing happened. I got into drugs. I started using drugs. The thing that I was getting in drugs was something that I was always missing. So there came a point in my life and I was like, this is the thing that I've always missed in my life, that emotional happiness and that motivation and feeling happy in life. So I used drugs for quite some time until when my parents found out and my parents decided to take me to sober house, and I was admitted to a sober house 6 or 7 times before I really decided to quit drugs. When I first started going to sober house, it was very difficult for me because I wouldn't admit that I am an addict. While I was already an addict, because without doing drugs, I wasn't myself. For normal people, without drugs, you're okay. But for people like me, for addicts, after you use drugs, that is when you're okay. Otherwise, you're not okay. So later on what happened, my sister decided to take me to a psychiatrist. And that is when I found out that I really had a problem. So I started visiting this psychiatrist and she started explaining to me, listening to me, and she found out that I was going through depression, and she was the one who told my family and my sisters that addiction was a problem, yes, but it had a reason. And the reason was that I was depressed. I was still using. My sister heard of the Await Rehab Center, which was the first rehab in Tanzania, I guess, run by Dr. Shaina. I started going to the rehab, and after a while, after having sessions with Dr. Shaina, I started feeling that and admitting and accepting that I really had a problem that I could not do without drugs. And at the same time, simultaneously, I was visiting the psychiatrist, the same psychiatrist that I was going to previously, so I was taking medication and I was living in a rehab, and it was quite a difficult time for me because the withdrawal symptoms, after you quit the drugs, there comes a time when you have to cope up. You have to cope up and you have to be on your footsteps, on your own. You have to be independent. I mean, you have to be strong emotionally and mentally to be able to face life the way it is and to live according to life terms. After some while, the medicine started working, and I started feeling guilty, at the after effects. I started feeling guilty, feeling like I have lost time, I have lost friends, I've lost jobs, and like I was getting into a real difficult situation. But the good part was that I was getting into now the reality of life. I didn't have the courage, but there was something inside me that was telling me to push hard and to go on no matter what. One day will come that I will be able to live life again. And happily now, I'm working for MTL for almost 18 months now, and I'm clean, I'm not using again. So I'm thankful to everybody who has contributed. Now the difference is I'm looking at life in a positive way. I'm looking at life which is full of life which is full of happiness. Without drugs it's possible. No matter how hard it is for you in life, just don't give up. You should have this courage and motivation in you. If you can do it on your own, if you can't do it on your own, then confront someone, see someone, talk to someone, and make sure that you have your feelings shared with someone and thoughts, so that it can bring you back to the right track, and it can guide you through so that it's not too late.